Listen, one thing I can say, I'm a firm believer in transferable skills, okay? It is not just what degrees you have. If your background can translate to a requirement of a contract and I do my job well and crosswalk that experience, then the sky's the limit from there.
Welcome to Security Cleared Jobs, Who's Hiring and How, the podcast for cleared professionals looking for new opportunities and career advice. We go behind the scenes with recruiters and hiring managers from leading cleared employers to uncover the information you need to make a smart career move. Get ready for insights from this week's guest and your hosts, Kathleen Smith and Rachel Bozeman.
Greetings there in the podcast community. So great that you could join us today. This is Kathleen with ClearedJobs.Net. We are on another episode of Security Cleared Jobs, Who's Hiring How. I am so excited that we get to share information about various cleared employers that you may want to consider working for. But what I love even more is the opportunity to spend a few hours, days, weeks with my dear beloved co-host, Rachel. Rachel, how are you doing today?
Oh, Kathleen, you sure know how to make a girl blush. I am so excited to be here. Hello, all you listeners. It is a great day. And what would make it even better is to know who in the heck are we going to talk to today, Kathleen?
So we are talking today to Danielle McClary, Corporate Lead Recruiter for TJFACT. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Yes, thank you, ladies. So happy to be here.
Well, we are so excited you're here. And something we enjoy doing just to kind of get it kicked off, it's always good to know who you're listening to for our listeners out there. So something that would be super helpful for them is for them to understand a little bit more of your background and how in the heck did you land at TJFACT?
Yes, so that's one of the million-dollar questions. No, I have been in the HR talent acquisition world for over 10 years at this point. I can't believe it's been that long. So I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, born and raised my whole life. I relocated to Atlanta 6 years ago. I started in the HR world serving a supply chain logistics company, which actually is how I was relocated here to Atlanta. Throughout COVID, things changed with that. So I had the opportunity a couple of years ago. It's been just a little bit over 2 years now. I can't believe it. The opportunity to be able to work in the cleared recruiting space, which was different and new and challenging. So I put on my big girl pants and I've been drinking the Kool-Aid ever since. So
you know, that's a great way to put it. Good on you for taking on this challenge because we really need many talented recruiters like yourself in this space. So it's great that you can join us here today. So TJFACT is a veteran-owned firm headquartered in Atlanta. Tell us a little bit more about TJFACT and who they are and what work do you do in the cleared community?
TJFACT, as you said, we are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. That is where our corporate headquarters are. TJFACT, as everything is in the federal government, is an acronym. TJFACT stands for Totally Joined for Achieving Collaborative Techniques. That is a mouthful. So we go by TJFACT. We have been in business for just over 15 years. We're actually getting ready to celebrate our 16th year anniversary. So we are very well versed in the federal government contracting sector. You name it, we are probably tapped into it in terms of what we do specialize in. So things like program management, IT services, administrative support services. In terms of the government entities, you name it, we are probably tapped into those spaces as well. Heavy footprint here with the CDC in Atlanta, but because we do support all USG, no local or state government, heavy footprint in that DC area, supporting various clients, DOS, DOD, DOJ, DHS. I mean, the list goes on.
I love it. It's like we're singing the alphabet.
I know.
So much fun, isn't it? It's wonderful. So you did mention some of the different services and agencies that you get to support and all of the great work that you're doing there. But can you tell us what type of security cleared positions or maybe what are those job titles that you're generally hiring for?
Yes, absolutely. So within the cleared space, they range, as you can imagine. So anywhere from program to management analysts, we've got intel analysts, different advisors, administrative support specialists, facility management specialists, police advisors. I mean, you name it, it ranges.
And it's the $1,000,000 question because I know you're in Atlanta, just real close to me. I'm just giving you a wave over here from Louisiana. It's good to see you. But where in the heck are your positions located?
So the good thing about it is we do both CONUS across the continental United States as well as OCONUS, so outside of the continental United States. We actually just had the opportunity, we just acquired a large DOS information technology telecommunications contract overseas. It ranges from our network engineers, our ServiceNow developers, system administrators, those IT tech heavy type of positions.
Congratulations on that contract.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask two questions here. The first is, those positions, are any of them remote or hybrid?
They are. So we do offer both remote and hybrid opportunities. Of course, our overseas positions will be on site. So you will be overseas, no remote overseas positions. But in terms of our CONUS opportunities, they are both hybrid and remote.
So we're also seeing some really exciting changes happening within the cleared community, with there being the passing of a lot of IT federal contracts are now accepting work experience rather than college degrees. So any thoughts on that? What do you think is going to happen for your recruiting? Any recommendations you can give to job seekers on how they present themselves?
Listen, one thing I can say, I'm a firm believer in transferable skills. Okay. It is not just what degrees you have. I'm a firm believer that if your background can translate to a requirement of a contract and I do my job well and crosswalk that experience, then the sky's the limit from there. One thing I can say in terms of what I could encourage candidates to do is make sure that you have two versions of a resume. I really get this for transitioning personnel, people who are transitioning out of the military and coming into either the private or the federal sector. They have misconceptions of, I need a clean resume. I need it streamed down. I need 3 to 4 bullets and that's it. No, I need the meat. I need the potatoes. I need all of the things that you have done to really be able to speak to what it is that you've done, to be able to crosswalk and show the government that, hey, this individual can meet the requirements of the contract and still get the job done.
Love it. So, Danielle, I know that the listeners can hear you and they can hear how much fun you are. And now they're going to all want to join TJ Fact. But the reality is, they're not all going to get to work with you every single day. And so, something else that they may want to consider when considering employment and careers at TJ Fact is that company culture. So, tell us a little bit more about what folks could expect working there from a culture perspective.
Absolutely. I love sharing about who we are at TJ Facts. We are very big on our core values. Be the Dash is an acronym, another acronym. Dash being the acronym, D being don't blink the customer. Put whatever you want in that blank. For us, within any capacity that you work for TJ Fact, we support the federal government. Our job is to serve the mission. So we support the client. A, being your most true and authentic self, having the power and the autonomy to CEO your function. That is what our CEO empowers us to do all the time. CEO, be authentically yourself. Being able to give back and service, that's something that's near and dear to my heart. And it's not just something we do during the holidays. It's something that we do throughout the year. We have the opportunity to go internationally and build houses for those who are in need. And then also at the home front, supporting the underserved and things like that. And that's something that is very much a core part of our company. And then H, which is my very favorite, the heartbeat of the company, which is the people. Without each and every single one of us in these individual places, our leadership fully knows and understands that we cannot be successful. So I think sharing that message to potential candidates is imperative. Like, hey, this is the company that you're going to work for. We do things like town halls. We go and do site visits, and kudos to our employees. And we go and do mixers and all the fun things. We have a huge Christmas party at the end of the year, and we invite everybody on contract to come out. So it's the little touches, I think, that employees or candidates really look for in employment.
So you mentioned that cleared professionals today are much more invested in who's the company I'm working for versus what is the job I'm doing. So you've been very inspirational in everything that you said. Let's hear more about this.
So for me, it's more than just what a person looks like on a resume. You can hit all of the notes, but if I'm talking to you and your energy's not really there, or you're really not that engaged, or you're really not giving me what it is that I need in terms of how can I sell you? That's my job. I'm a saleswoman. Like, I have to sell you to the government in a way to say, hey, this person can support the mission. That is the goal. So being able to highlight that is really important.
Absolutely. Coming with your most authentic self and not putting up anything fake or that would feel like a facade, but just really being authentic. And I think that is great advice. And so, you did kind of mention a little bit about the culture and the great things you're doing, whether it's on seas, overseas, in the sea, all of the amazing things that you're able to do there. But another important part that might be of interest to our candidates is to learn a little bit more about your benefits and what's in it for them. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like from a TJFACT perspective.
Great question. I love that you asked that. As you can understand, in government contracting, sometimes it can be very segregated in a sense of you have an FTE and you're a government contractor. One thing about TJFACT is we are very big on you are an employee of TJFACT. Our benefits are as a regular full-time employee. It would be inclusive of medical, dental, vision, all those other ancillary supplementary benefits that they can opt in and opt out of as they so choose. They're not obligated, unless you're overseas, you're not obligated to opt into any of our medical benefits packages. It's also inclusive of 401k. We do also have PTO. PTO would be inclusive of your vacation or your sick time. And then we do also observe all 11 federal U.S. holidays. I say all the days that the banks are closed, guess what? You're off too. So yeah, that's just a part of our benefits package.
Awesome. And it's great that we sort of touched on our transitioning military folks as far as that you look at their work experience. So I'm going to give you a two-parter question here. So the first one is, what would be some advice you would give to cleared professionals as far as their job search is concerned? And then dive a little bit deeper, talk about military transitioning folks. So what is one thing that you've seen that transitioning folks have done that they probably shouldn't be doing?
Yes, it's really touching on what I said previously in a sense of the resumes that they put out there. Believe it or not, if I see a resume that does not speak to the job that you're applying for, if I have a huge pool of applicants, unfortunately, I may look over your resume. And I don't like to do that, right? I like to give everybody the opportunity to be able to speak to their experience. I work with a nonprofit organization and we go to their recruitment and career fairs. And one of the things I had, one of the transitioning military, he did something in policy before, and I actually had a policy position. So my recruiter brain is like, I wonder if I could take what you did and crosswalk it to the requirement of this position. And believe it or not, I was able to do that. He and I had an in-detailed conversation in terms of what exactly it was that he did. We packaged it all together. We presented it. So one thing I would say is don't think that what you've done won't work. Right? If you get the right person and they're willing to kind of take the time and work with you, there are times I have to go back and say, hey, let's add these pieces in your resume. Let's add these things that you're not speaking to, because unfortunately, the government's not getting to talk to you and have this wonderful conversation that you and I are having, and we can go back and forth on all of the things. We have to have it in your resume. So that is the biggest thing, is make sure that you have a tailored resume speaking exactly to your experience. So that way you're not overlooked for an opportunity that you could potentially be great at.
Nope.
No, you've done great. It's me, can't figure out how to get off of mute. It's that pesky little thing. I love it when someone says, I can't hear you, you're on mute. And you're like, I know. I was seeing if you could read my lips. Did you read them? Did you read them on there? So speaking of reading lips, that's a little hard to do, but I know our listeners are probably going to want to get in touch with you and TJFACT overall. So how in the heck can they get a hold of you and your team so they can learn more about some great opportunities there?
Absolutely. So I am on LinkedIn. You can connect with me there with my name, Danielle McClary. And then also you can go on our career site. So that would be at www.tjfact, that's TJFACT.com/careers. And that will then take you to our career page where you can see all the things that we have.
You've done that a time or two.
Awesome. Well, Danielle, it has been absolutely great chatting with you. Thanks for joining me and Rachel today.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Happy to be here and looking forward to all of the cleared professionals that are going to come my way.
Yes, you heard it. You better get on it.
Yes, we had another exciting show. Danielle gave us some interesting insights into how she has to package candidates. And that means that you, job seekers, you have to give her the content, the fodder, the meat so that she can put it together. I shouldn't be talking about meat. We're all on our New Year's resolutions here.
I loved it. I love any time that we can have alphabet soup. No, it was fantastic just listening. It was encouraging for those that are going out there that it can be overwhelming when you come with all of the acronyms, but I think it's a great reminder of what an advocate your recruiter can be in the process. Ask the questions. Don't just feel like you'll look silly if you don't know what the acronym stands for. That's what the recruiting team is there for. Ask the questions, do the research, be prepared. Great careers at TJFACT, great culture, awful lot of fun. What's also a lot of fun is spending time with you. So thank you, dear friends, for just supporting us, listening to our little fun podcast over here, and just a way that you could give even a little something extra with support would be giving us that 5-star review. So get out there, hit that 5-star review, and until next time, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I like it that we're both wearing black today.
I know. I feel like it matches my soul. Just kidding.